Wow, we're back. Okay, this is the second part of this daily show. Today is December 20th, 2016. I am back for more broadcasting pleasure. Hi. Everybody's opening everybody's eyes. We've got a little issue going on with some attackers in our show, so bear in mind these things happen. Yeah, we are constantly vigilant and trying to do the show no matter what. Hello from Brazil, Salty Dog. Good evening. Katerina, I am aware of your situation. Thank you so much. I'm very sorry to hear that people were trying to kill you as a young child. That's so sad. You've been through a lot, Katerina. And don't ever post your phone number online. None of you. Okay? Awesome, Carl. You got a 91? And your semester average is 94? You're amazing, man. See what I told you? You're a lot smarter than they think that you were when you were younger. You've done fabulous. Awesome, Carl, everybody. He's becoming a nursing assistant, and he's on to become a phlebotomist. Korea TV says, David, if you report it to Mark, he will do something. No, Mark has been censoring us on our show, Korea TV. That's why people can't get into our show. They blocked 3 million IPs. I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's been a good day overall. A lot of activity. I drove around a large area, about 100 miles. I'm so glad you passed, Awesome Carl. That's awesome. Congratulations. Good job. And Awesome Carl's done a little bit of a kind of a Christmas event for all of us that we played earlier. It was kind of cool. He brought out some music. Winter Wonderland with Awesome Carl was kind of an amazing experience because he sings his a cappella way, you know. And he's bringing in the Christmas by offering up his amazingness. The Winter Wonderland by Awesome Carl. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In a lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to hear you. Your auto-tuning ability was amazing. If only you were an artificial robot, everything would be so perfect every day. Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, you know, Awesome Carl goes out of his way to be himself. And you guys have to run him down. Yeah. Like you make fun of me when I have my mic muted. Yeah, he's a real guy, Awesome Carl. But it would be terrible if we had a robotic song, because we have the real human here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our show. We are going to be delving deeper into the reason why they're using electromagnetic activity in our atmosphere and not telling us. Thank you. I know. And I gotta tell you, this is a situation where they took the genius of Nikola Tesla in the 1890s when he developed this and patented this amazing electromagnetic technology, and they packaged it up into a secret weapon, and it's called weather modification. And they can make hurricanes with it. They can do a lot of things with it. And weather modification is a veritable attack on our atmosphere, our environment, and our countries. So we're all incurring this on a daily basis now. Now, I didn't tell anybody recently, but I'm going to tell everybody in the show that I've encountered some strange things around my home. And I just don't understand them. And when I look outside, I look in the trees at night. And yeah, I look in the trees at night. This is all about HAARP, Cherry Brown. We'll get to that in a second. I look in the trees at night and I see a green glow in my trees. I know that sounds weird, but my neighbor has these beautiful lights in front of their house for Christmas. And I looked up into the top of the trees, and I went to the top of the trees, and I said to Sarah, the top of the trees are glowing. And they are. And they're like sparklers, and little green glowing sparklers. I don't know what they are. I think they could be electromagnetically charged particles. Or possibly radon. I can't go up in the trees and get a sampling, but they're kind of everywhere up there. And Sarah noticed them, and there's like, wow, what is that? We can't figure out what it is. So it has to be an accumulation. We see trails of them, which could be hitting the spider webs that are linked between trees. But they're like, it's almost like somebody went to the top of a 150-foot tree and put green lights up there. So it's very strange. But it makes me think that what's going on with all the chemicals that are being dumped on our heads is it's slowly accumulating. And it's developing this type of a green irradiated aura. It could even be radiation coming from Fukushima. I don't know what it is. But when I look at all the chemtrails that they dump in the skies above us, I know something's not right here. There's weird chemtrails. I mean, here's an example of one weird. This is really dense heavy metals that they're putting in the sky here. This is an example of just dumping a huge line of heavy metals in the sky. I can't get a camera with enough pixelation to see it at night. I wish I could. It's going to have to be like a 60 megapixel camera, and I don't have one. I have like an 8 megapixel camera. It would even be better with a 35 millimeter lens and a wide angle. I mean, there's some things that I just can't explain. I wish I could show it to you, but I really do believe that we are getting doused with chemicals. That much I can assume. It could be radioactive isotopes, Cherry. Yeah. But when they introduced the Tesla program called HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, they developed this technology to alter the weather in the sky, to make hurricanes happen, and very suspicious activities that one would never ever guess is going on in our world, but is going on almost daily. And many of you have said, "Oh, these aren't chemtrails; they're contrails. There's no way they're doing anything like that in the sky." Blah blah blah. And I've got pictures of ample amounts. Look at this over California geoengineering. Point Reyes. This is an actual photograph of a chemtrail line that was just dumped. Mad Dog's sick and tired, and he's not going to take it anymore. I know. You can find out a lot more, folks, at geoengineeringwatch.org if you want to check into it. But, hey, this is the beginning of what they're attempting to do, which is reset the atmosphere or reset the ecosystem. And it took me a long time to realize that the elitists simply bought into a wild theory that if you dump chemicals and aerosols in the atmosphere, it's going to cool the planet. It's that stupid. It's scary. Well, you can put air masks on, and many of you are getting those, hospital masks. That helps a little bit. You can filter your house with ion filters that are readily sold on the open market. China makes a lot of ion HEPA filters. Ones that actually filter the air and have fabric in them. Or you just get the kind that are really cool, or they have ion filters with some sort of an anode, which you basically wipe down with a rag, and it pulls all this black stuff up, which would probably be the silver iodide they're spraying in the sky. The aluminum, the barium, the selenium, the strontium, all of these different heavy metals that is getting in our brain and in our bloodstreams. Very weird stuff. So, you know that I've been trying to politically stop these scumbags who decided to pollute the entire world for my entire life. I started a battle when I was 7 years old. I remember having a big argument with the people in my school from Dow Chemical. And they came into my school and they acted like they were helping me. Know that chemicals, without chemicals, life itself would not be possible. They told me that. Hey, Incognito, I'm going pretty well. Yes, I was 7 years old. I'm a genius. So at 7 years old, I was openly, actively trying to stop the devastation of our planet. I know that sounds a little weird, but I've been doing this a long time in my life, and I can assure you, I don't need to hear about your itchy hemorrhoid right now, Busy. There's something not right about the situation. Yeah, they've got a plan to keep us all living in fear. They basically keep us intimidated, distracted, and dividing us. They've been doing that for centuries. And they've got us fluoridated, too. And they're dumping chemicals on our head. And I'm here trying to save the world as long as I can on this earth. I have 185 IQ. So if you wonder, what does a person with a brain have and what can they do? That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to help this country. I'm just very humble, Joe. It's in my nature. I was born that way. It's a curse and a gift at the same time. If I don't use it, I wouldn't be helping mankind. You know, I've heard about look it up. The giant humanoid people seen in the sky. I've heard about that. There are some images that are really bizarre that keep popping up on the internet. I think that they're holograms. I believe that there's holographic photography being performed on a high level, that someday they may just implement the second coming of Christ right in front of your eyes. A very strange thing, yeah. I am a living legend, yes, Daniel. Thank you for recognizing that. At least you recognize that, Daniel. I know that you're being sincere. I think there's a lot of fakery going on. Like, the truth is, I don't think this vehicle, the Black Knight satellite, is real. They claim it's been floating in space for approximately, since they've seen it in 1957, before any known missiles were launched into the atmosphere for satellites. I'm beginning to wonder, what is this? I mean, this is the space shuttle being filmed by another space shuttle? I mean, who's out there holding the camera? I mean, the whole thing looks pretty fake. Ragnar, thank you for laughing. Laughter is a way of healing your body. Black Knight satellite, I think that's a lot of BS. I think the argument that the aliens have taken over and they're abducting children is another fake agenda put out by the none other than the Podesta brothers. You know, the very same people that are I would hope, being investigated. Gosh, if they're not being investigated, there's something wrong with our system. But yeah, there's the Podesta brothers. They're putting out a story of Saddam's Stargate and alien invasions and all kinds of stuff. And whenever you research the Podestas, you'll see that. You'll actually see all their stuff on alien agendas. I nailed it. Yeah, I know, Ragnar. And I know that this is something that they're using to keep our minds off of the investigation that's still kind of sitting out there with nobody really working on it. The two pictures of Tony and John Podesta, major media figures who can promote alien agendas if they want. Who's your father? Luke, I am your father. I'm not Darth Vader. I don't know who your father is. But these guys have been promoting this media hype, and here they are, matching the same description of two people in 2007 that were seen abducting a child, Madeleine McCann, in Portugal. And nobody yet in Donald Trump's administration has investigated anything. So what's Trump hiding? I mean, what's his deal? Aside from making Russia great, he hasn't really done anything. He doesn't want to prosecute Hillary. He doesn't want to prosecute Barack Obama. I mean, exactly why is Trump our president when he took 10 of my ideas to get elected? Could anyone please answer the question? Thank you. Is he because you just want to make America great again or something without even knowing how? He promised 24 million jobs, but he won't even investigate two people that look like they're pedos. Could be, I should say. Now the story about the Russian ambassador, because we're concerned about Trump and Putin being, together again. We have more video possibly showing you that the Russians actually created a hoax. This is another weird story, that the Russian ambassador may not have died. They may have faked his death just to get sympathy for Russia, while we, the Americans, are wondering if the CIA and the FBI are doing their investigation into how they rigged our election. And we're wondering we should throw the results out because Trump is so contaminated with Russian involvement. Thank you, Cherry, for saying you'll vote for me. Mayor Pizza says, my eyes have been opened. Wow, good for you. I'm glad I'm helping a few of you realize the sincere problem at stake here. We're trying to protect children, and our government doesn't even want to investigate this. Plus, Trump is hiding his Russian connection. Now, if Russia did fake his death, let's take a look at this video and see if it offers any new clues as to whether this was a fake shooting or not.
Hangi gözle baktıklarını mutlaka merak ediyorlar.
Мне особенно хотелось бы отметить, что эта выставка практически первое культурное событие в жизни Анкары после восстановления наших отношений.
İlişkilerimiz normalleştikten sonra aslında Ankara'da yapılan ilk etkinliktir. Bugün hazır bulunduğumuz sergi.
Уверен, она будет способствовать сближению народов нашей страны.
Kesinlikle
take a closer look at the shot, the slow motion. The muzzle blast and the gun sound is too deep. Okay.
Kesinlikle iki.
This is the sound of a 9mm. No blood or blood spatter. That's correct. And he was shot 7 times in the back. I mean, nothing. Clearly staged, yeah. So the world is looking in, and the court of public opinion, there are no windows. Notice there are no windows. Wandos. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's no windows, yet you're seeing another video of a similar shooting at the same time. Ah, okay, good. No windows. It is supposed to. No windows at all. No windows. And he's saying the typical thing there are no windows in this room, yet someone outside of the building was able to film it through a window. Remember this. Thank you. Nope. Wow. Wando. Anything more important? There he is, yeah. No windows. There are no windows in this room, yet someone outside the building was able to film through a window. There you go. Yes, I believe that it could very well be faked. We will have to look at the forensic evidence and take it to the the Bureau of Land Management. Harambe is still alive? Are you serious? Now, what do you know about that, raccoon? I think you're just making up stories to get noticed. What do you think, folks? False flag? Fake? Russian ambassador killing to take our minds away from Russia involvement in our election? Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Hello, you must be going. I can't stay. I must be going. I'm glad I came. Okay, thanks for coming. Golden Corral, fake as hell. And don't forget the dessert bar. All in the snack bar. Well, I'm convinced now that it was fake. Thank you. ATP Korea fan Zixin says fake. Yeah. We've got an overwhelming conclusion now. Since there was a photograph of somebody shooting through windows, now we know it's been faked. Okay, so Putin decided to do another kind of a flash in the pan kind of media event. So our mind is not focused on Trump and Russia's involvement. Yeah. Diversion. Tactic. Bringing back this behavior again of scaring people. Seems like a way of getting people to not look at anything. Scaring people, behavior, yeah. Okay. Excuse me, I just burped a cucumber. Yeah. So we go back to this issue here. Putin, Trump, and Pence, Russia making much Russia great again. And let's not forget Rex Tillerson, the guy who may very well have violated the embargo against Russia during the time when we were having problems over Ukraine. I am very much so Walt Whitman. Yes, Walt Whitman and I have something in common. I am a descendant of Henry David, actually I'm a Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Yes, my original ancestor. He's my 8th cousin. Thanks. I don't think I look that much like Walt Whitman, but he had eyebrows. No, we're different nose entirely. Sorry. The Russian connection is a put on. I'm not going to in any way imply that. See, the elitists, they run both the Russian Jewish mob And they also run on the western side the entire clan of royalty, dating back to the 9/11, the Order of the Garter, and of course the Venetian royalty. There's two different sides of this problem, and they're not in agreement. The New World Order is not some magical thing where everyone gets along. They're fighting just like we on Earth are fighting among nations. And as they try to implement the New World Order, it becomes more and more obvious that they have problems. But what their goal is primarily, they have things they come together on. And that is, this is not pre-recorded faux rest. I'm talking to you, man, right now. I ain't trolling you, man. Right now, their goal is to try to eliminate the population. Then they'll sort out their differences. I'm right here, Enmeng. Thank you for coming in. Some of you are tuning into our new Twitter chat room. Thank you. I know the Berlin truck fake is also seemingly fake, and we're going to be looking at videos like that tonight, discussing that. I know PK did some work on that last night. Dave, Michelle and Brock said to Oprah that America now has hope. No, Michelle and Brock gave us a lot of questions, like, is Brock gay? Is the birth certificate fake? Is Michelle a dude named Michael? That's really what they should say. It gave America a big question mark. Michelle and Brock could leave with a huge question mark behind them. I'm not a tweeter. No, I don't tweet enough. I should tweet more. I do not work for the Russian government. What makes you think that? You know, it's kind of funny how how I'm the guy exposing the Russian government's connection to American politics, and how the FBI and CIA agree with me. It's interesting. But they don't seemingly have the power to really throw this into the hands of our congressmen. So I'm hoping that that happens soon. And that people like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and John McCain and our Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, can all come together and say, yeah, we've got a problem here. It's definitely a problem. Anything we can do to correct this problem would be great. There you have it. It would be also good if the FBI could investigate themselves and find out if they're pedophiles. That's important. We need to find out if any of them are pedophiles. So, you know, anything we can do to do that, that'd be great. We also know that there's 1,700 cases of pedophilia in the Pentagon that have not been fully investigated. I'd like to get more information on that. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Getting Russia out of the White House is number one on the list, because it's kind of pushed Benghazi to the side and all the other things. Yeah. We're not sure who that person is. I am not from Sempe. Not really, Cherry. I don't think it's disordering. You know, you guys can open up various chat rooms. Right now I'm getting hosed down hard by a bunch of haters who are trolling the show and trying to shut us down and put us at risk. So, yeah, I would love to cater to you, but unfortunately these people are serious about doing damage to everybody that, you know, has been behind America's Third Party. So, I mean, I would love to help cater to you, but I got issues that are way beyond that right now. Thanks so much. You're all mixed up, I can tell. Yeah. DDoS boys, yeah, there are people out there getting Russia out of the White House. See, there you go again, Dave. It's the Zionists own all players. As you say, the whole thing is Zionist script. There's really no Russian backdoor. You're trying to minimize the danger of having Russia in our White House. Have you ever heard of the word proximity can breed contempt? Have you ever heard that term? Well, if you understood that that is the inherent problem with Donald Trump being too close through Russian mob deals that he and his family have had, to understand that what Putin really wants, and any moron could tell you this, is for the American government to not support the rebel troops in Syria. So at the very least, I'm trying to at least mold public opinion so that I could actually get Donald Trump to say no more rebel support in Syria, which would go directly against the grain of the New World Order and the Kissinger advice from the Kissinger Institute that Donald Trump seems to rely on, because he seems to be a puppet. Okay? So ending any involvement whatsoever with the rebel support in Syria will make Putin a lot happier. Now, you don't understand if the dynamic is that disturbing that we could really create a problem for Putin if he's got a backdoor deal. He's got a backdoor deal with. We're going to turn that on. Thank you. All right. He could have a backdoor deal with Putin and then wonder why this isn't happening. So because Donald Trump has not made any effort to fix this, we have to at least push him in the direction of fixing it. Okay, so at the very least, let's get this country in the next few years, as we do this show every night. Thank you. Let's get this country on board to get away from threatening Russia or Syria or any of that, okay? If we accomplish that and Trump does that in the next couple months, I will at least find some redemption in this whole effort. There we go. That would be great. Thank you. David, do you think fire ants should be renamed Spicy Boys? No. I know, Kool-Aid Anthrax. I think fire ants are dangerous. I think you can kill them with that stuff that you get at the restaurant, that yellow and pink container. Yes. You know when you get to the restaurants, they put poison out in front of you, and your grandma says, "Honey, I'm trying to avoid sugar. I'm diabetic." And she has to put that incredibly bad sugar-free crap. It's made with aspartame in her food. Try putting that on an anthill. I guarantee the ants will be gone in one day. Just take one package. That's all you need. So you can change it to the anthill boys. Yeah. I think we clarified that that stuff is dangerous, by the way. The truth is, Grandma sounds Jewish. Okay. Okay, well, thank you for sharing. Katerina, thank you so much for coming in earlier. I'm sorry your message was deleted. Okay, we got another refresh to do over there. Your wig is in the mail? Excellent. Mad Dog's going to wear a wig, everybody. He's dealing with male pattern baldness. David, will you cast when the world goes to hell? Yes. We have a special casting a device at America's Third Party. So when the world goes to hell, I'll be up and running with my IRC chat. It's bulletproof. It'll stand up to anything. We'll still be able to communicate once the apocalypse ensues. So Donald Trump, if he doesn't say that he wants to pull rebel support from Syria in the next, I'm going to give him at least till Inauguration Day. But if he doesn't say that, he's going to end up putting our country at risk because Putin really just wants us to back off certain areas. Now, I'm intuitive. I can sense that Putin wants us to pull out of certain areas. Raccoon, relax. Your daddy is not here. David, do you like Jews? I love Jews. Are you kidding me? Oy vey! Such a deal. Who could not like Jewish people? They've been such a great support for all of us. And you like Russia? Well, let's do a little support video for it. I'm just going to say a few things the Jewish people do to help all of us. Yes. Let's thank all the Jewish people around the world.
Did you know that there is a group of people out there that does an incredible amount of good for us and yet is truly underappreciated?
Who are you talking about?
Jews.
Oh, so what did Jews do for us?
The real question is, what don't Jews do for us? Well, let's start with money. You like money, right?
Sure, who doesn't?
Well, maybe you should check out who has been greasing the monetary machine. Look at the great people who have been busy heading the Federal Reserve, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other large financial institutions.
Wow, I knew Jews were good with money, but I didn't know they were responsible for running the world's money supply. Thanks, Jews.
Well, what about entertainment and information? You like media, don't you?
I sure do.
Have you ever thanked the people who own almost all of the media outlets in the Western world? That's right. Jews are behind our movies, television, newspapers, magazines, radio, and more.
And more, Sumner Resident. Yes, so obviously they've been doing a lot to help our country evolve. You wouldn't get top-of-the-line medical care if you didn't have a good Jewish doctor charging you $6,000 an hour. You wouldn't have a decent attorney if you didn't have a Jewish attorney charging you $500 an hour. So let's face it, what would we do without these people? You know? Maybe save money? I'm against the Armenian genocidal situation. I no way am in denial. But there's other genocides that we must address. There's the Ukrainian genocide. There's all these different genocides. The sectarian violence in Iraq is mostly due to that type of historic behavior. We can look back and hate each other forever and ever, or we can begin to mend those and patch those painful realizations that we violated each other historically. Oh, thank you. I have a face for radio. That's nice. Thanks. I was in radio for a long time and I got out of it. I don't like radio. A long time to me is like too long. I like Jewish people. Yeah, and I love Jewish people. Let's just put it that way. But I also love people of all different backgrounds. I'm not in any way hating on Jewish people. I'm a little concerned about people that want to control the world. Like the people that did 9/11, that wanted to create a terrible incident that would trigger a global event. I'm a little concerned that these people who they call Zionists actually want a global new world order, and they're using every means to do that. Raccoon, you're starting to bug me over there. Yeah, we may have to pull you out of the show if you keep this up. Purge needed, yeah, okay. David, the Rothschilds are Jewish? Yes. There have been a lot of people who've been pushing for this global new world order. Henry Kissinger is in favor of depopulation. This is a quote from him. Well, let's be clear. Obama went to the Kissinger Institute. He studied there. Depopulation should be the highest priority of U.S. foreign policy towards the third world. Thank you, Henry. We got that going for him. One of the most disturbing people in our history. If, let's be clear. But we have another problem. The whole concept originated with the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And this is a plan that they've been putting together for centuries to try to create ultimately depopulation. And all they needed was one major event to trigger a whole series of events like war. War is, according to them, the best way to get rid of people, so they go out of their way to do that. Yeah. Another way is poison them. You know, they can feed you GMOs in your diet and end up, killing you off. Or maybe you got a person who's a little too outspoken and who speaks up and has a very vocal voice and is loved by countless Americans, like Renee Zellweger. Then they can't really do anything with her if they get rid of her. They just have to replace her. So they come up with somebody who looks a lot like Renee. And they replace her. Now, I've compared the faces of Renee Zellweger before and after, and there's no way this is the same person. Yeah. Well, this is serious. Check it out. The Davidian conspiracy, I have no more information on that. So why would she have her orbital eye dropped a quarter of an inch? Do you know how hard that is to do? They have to crack all of her head here, break her orbital eye, and drop it down. And why would her nose have to be coming down like, you got to extend the nose, you got to pull. I'm not a plastic surgery, but yeah, they got rid of Renee Zellweger. The lady that is currently in front of you right now, who's the actress who's playing in all these movies, she's a brilliant impersonator. And bear in mind, there's no way that, you could possibly replace the real Renee Zellweger, but somehow they did. And that's how amazing these people are at replacing people. So they either take you out with, body, tumors, health care, or maybe if you're too vocal, they just get rid of you. I don't know. But I can tell you this is not good. I'm going to oil the door. Thank you. They have 3 different Lady Gagas. Yeah, Walton, thank you.
Michael Jackson was irreplaceable.
Michael Jackson, a one-of-a-kind guy. some people think he's still alive, that he's faked his own death just to stay, out of the limelight. That's an interesting theory. All right. How can you be sure that you haven't been replaced? Well, let me show you. I am me. I mean, look at me. I'm the same guy that was here in 2008 doing a show in which I spoke to the American people and trying to stop Obama running against him, trying to fight for American freedom. And I was right there in front of you, plain as day. This is me, and you can tell I'm the same person.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54.
I could go put
I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount, and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own. Check out this vehicle. Isn't that a beautiful car?
Well, now we can admire my car for a few hours. That's great. I just segued to that so I can slip out of here. See, I am a real person. You can't take that away from me.
All right, we'll be cautious.
You look older in the video than you do now? That's because
you hadn't slept for
I hadn't slept for like 48 hours that day. And by the way, I must say, I use fruit mist. This stuff is amazing.
It's not important who I am.
It rehydrates my physical body so I don't look dried and parched. People think I am a robot, Sarah.
We like that car, Raider. We don't think it's ugly. We think it's beautiful.
Are you kidding me? That's a beautiful car. What the hell's wrong with you, man? We're still driving it. We love these hybrids. Sarah got one just like it. I bought her one, and she paid for the rest of it.
That's a risk that we're willing to take, Tramp.
Yes. So you get a car that can get 60 miles per gallon or 55.
Okay, what about that?
I know I look younger 8 years ago. That's the power of lighting and the good living, man. I work out all the time. Well, let's be clear. I don't know. Michelle has been absconding with funds and giving them to Sasha and Malia. And I just don't know where we're going to be. Oh, we have picked out a house. We're going to be living 2 doors down from Tony Podesta. Did you hear Barack Obama and Michelle are going to be moving into a house 2 doors down from Tony Podesta? Explain your teeth. In 2014, I did an impersonation video of Barack Obama where I needed the teeth to have a nice smile, so I got these press-on veneers, and that's what I'm wearing right now. See that?
Thanks, YouTube junkie.
You get to moisturize.
Doesn't believe what you believe.
No, we don't all agree. You know, the nice thing about this is I'm not in any way like Donald Trump. I don't support white supremacists. I in no way want to
I have heard of the Mandela effect.
Yes. I don't in any way want to ID Muslims. I recognize there's a problem with jihadism, and no question about it. Radical Islam is embedding in certain areas of this country. But I have a feeling Donald Trump is just pandering to everything all of you are concerned about to win your vote. That he never really cared about any of this. I really seriously believe that he just told you what you wanted to hear. Yeah. I support marijuana. I support legalization. Sarah has never smoked marijuana in her life and never will, she says.
But I don't need it.
I
don't want to do anything that alters my mind.
Folks, there was a terrible crash today in Tultepec,
Mexico.
It was an explosion of massive nature. Let's take a look at it. If you just came into the show, at least let's refer to it. 27 dead and 70 seriously injured with burns on up to 90% of their body.
It's part of life. Mayor Pizza.
So this is one of the most horrible fireworks explosions in world history. In Mexico, folks.
I wonder if that's like the. You remember? No, who wrote that? Never mind. Who was the famous author?
Steinbeck.
No.
Okay.
Melville? No.
There are a lot of famous authors that we can
maybe it was Steinbeck, but there was a famous author that was really well known for writing down in South like South America and stuff like that, and he moved to Cuba to write.
Carlos Castaneda.
No. Never mind.
Carlos Castaneda.
But there is this author that wrote about this fireworks factory down in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well,
anyway.
I have
Hemingway, yes.
Hemingway,
so.
Thank you, Hemingway.
Yes.
We have a question. What will cause World War III? Donald Trump making all the wrong decisions with Vladimir Putin, making side deals, not addressing the real issues. Will we need a wall? We can't build a wall. My idea is a 1,000-mile fence, and yes, we can build that, and it will have to be lethal electric. But we'll also have to give people a pathway to become a U.S. citizen through fast-track naturalization. And why do we have to die? You don't. Theoretically, your organs can be replaced using genetically modified skin cells, organ cells, and you may be spliced into having a longer life through this methodology.
I'm pretty sure Hemingway wrote a
So you don't have to die.
About fireworks.
I'm sure.
Look that up.
Well, I want to spend the whole day talking about it. So, just
Well, you don't have.
we're going to look into this later, but Sarah's going to talk to you now about Hemingway and fireworks.
The pearl.
Okay, thanks for at least listening to me, and I'm glad I clarified all the questions you may have. I'll be back shortly.
All right, thank you. Well, there'll be other fencing around it, Rachel. So, or your name's not Rachel, it's Ractho. Ractho. All right. No, not Sarah. David, don't leave us. We don't like her. All right, I'm just kidding. Your wig was a popular item? Popular? She's so popular. You think it's Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the author I'm thinking of? Possibly. Sorry, sold out. Your popular wig. Did you get it in time, Mad Dog? Aw, thank you, Kool-Aid Anthrax. So my name is Sarah, and it's not a joke, but David is very entertaining. I'll agree with you there. And it's all about politics. 1,000 Nights of Solitude. That sounds pretty cool. It's all about politics, and David has some interesting belief systems, and I'm here to support David in any way I can. So, if that means giving him a little breaks while he goes and eats dinner, that's what I do. No, my name's not Simon. My name is Sarah, like the song Que Sera, Sarah. Or Sarah, smile a little while for me. Well, thank you for thinking that I'm not as intelligent as you prefer. Hi, Cherry. And I have no idea what... Oh, it's a little emoticon Mayor Pizza has for me. Oh, 1,000 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Maybe that is it. Alright, I'll have to... I don't know what the book I was thinking of. I've read too many books to remember. Why did I ignore your question? What do you think about aliens? Should they go back or stay? I think it should be easier for people to come into this country legally and more difficult for them to come into their country illegally. I think if you broke our laws and are in this country illegally, then you should be deported back to your home country. I think that we should make the wheels of justice turn more quickly And I think that one of the ways that we can do that is by actually deputizing our Border Patrol agents to become federal judges specializing in immigration law. I am not actually from another planet. Do you get time off to eat, Sarah? Is it like a food relay? Yes, it's kind of like a food relay insofar as that like 6:30 Pacific time, David comes and I give David a break so that he can cook dinner or make dinner, and then he makes dinner for me, and then I take a break so then I eat the dinner, and then David takes a break so he can eat his dinner. And then, yes, it's like a food relay, except I don't always eat the dinner that David makes for me. Usually I do, though, because he makes really good dinners. And also, on that note, on Thursday, David likes to actually videotape himself making dinner. So he has a cooking show on Thursday. What about coming to Earth illegally? Yeah, we should send those people back. Or those entities, those beings back. Yes, that sounds good. Alright, Vox, winter solstice. Nice. Do I want to click that? Tomorrow is the shortest day of 2016. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't, Ragnar. It all depends on what he makes. Well, I know every day he talks about that person, Eric. Daryl Hannah fans? Okay. David, you hear David making noise in the other room? That's sometimes what he does. It is it. Why would he go to my house, 955? It just doesn't make sense. Alright. Okay, I like your little emoticons, Icy Cone. No, yeah, so that's not it. I maybe it wasn't Hemingway, maybe it was Steinbeck, but I don't think so. That Sarah, you sent an audio. Oh, you sent me an audio to my email address? I don't keep track of my temperature in my house. Your Bozo the Clown comics under your other name? Okay. It's all rational like that. The novel was about living on... It was about a small boy who lived and went pearl diving and also lived on this... lived... From what I remember, this was a long time ago, but it was like the pearl diver or something like that. But he went diving for pearls, but he also lived in a community where they made fireworks. Well, Eric doesn't come in and say, "I'm Eric." The only person that obviously seems to understand who's Eric and who's not is you. Everybody else is like, "I'm not Eric," or "Why are you obsessed with Eric?" or things like that. And now 421 saying he's Eric, but I don't even know if 421 is really Eric or anything like that. Oh, I only give David like 15-minute to 30-minute breaks. I'd be willing to give him an hour break, but that's about it. Are you talking about me, Raider? Oh, it is Steinbeck. I'll have to tell David he's right. That's John Steinbeck's The Pearl. David, you were right. He'll like that. Well, it's not going to change what I do, 955. Of course, it alarms me to a certain degree, but it's not going to change what I do. I'll continue to give David breaks, and it's not going to change what David does either. No, 649. David does not. How do you propose I do that, 955? Changing settings. Oh, turning off guest chat. If you turn off guest chat, then you stop all these people from actually chatting. And that's not... There's no benefit there. So you actually found an alien life form in your garden a few weeks ago. He said his name was Edward Tedford. Should you continue to hide him or report him to the police? I will leave that up to your judgment. I don't know if he's from an alien ship. I don't know if the police can do much for it. They can only deport people from other countries. I don't know if they can actually deport people from other planets. Yep, you'll never stop us. Yeah, C955, though, I don't think that you understand that David wants to continue growing an audience and population. And so by going to turning off guest chat or going to activated chatters only, then it just goes to a limited audience rather than a larger audience, and David would like to have a larger audience. I'm so glad. I hope you do stop anyone who's trying to stalk me in some way, shape, or form. Has Edward Tedford posed any problems to you? Mrs. Q, do you think Edward Tedford poses a problem? Yes, I will take measures to protect myself. What measures do you think I should take? Good evening, Peter. Does he eat wood off of your house? Or he just eats everything that's edible, like everything that you eat? You could get him old expired food like David would. Well, I suppose I could do that. Don't they already know that, though? Because they were involved in the incident? And they're supposedly doing their investigation. You give them mostly grass. Well, that's good. Perhaps you should... Perhaps you should grow some more hay in order to give to Edward. Alright. Right? Even though that hasn't fortunately happened in a long, long time. I usually know what I'm doing as far as muting or banning people. So it was Steinbeck's The Pearl. Okay. I hope anyone who tries to stalk people or call people swatting on people is stopped. Oh, he also wrote the chrysanthemums. Well, that would be insanity. Very much so. I'll never be with anyone other than David my entire life. No, Obi-Wan, it's not. No, Kool-Aid, that's not gonna happen. Is that a wedding cake on my bandana? No, it's a Christmas tree. See? It's a cool little Christmas tree. Am I going skiing? No. The pearl was meant to pay the doctor. Oh, that's right. I don't know, because I think Scissor Fight knows that there's too many things to post. You like the idea of a wedding cake better? Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you think we rock. I think he's making a blender drink or something. Oh, I hope not. I hope everything is well with Scissor Fight. Doesn't everyone 829? David is great. He's a fantastic guy. The Pearl, a novel of Mice and Men. That's true. Okay, it was in La Paz. Steinbeck's inspiration was a Mexican folktale from La Paz, Baja California, Sur, Mexico, which he'd heard in a visit to the formerly pearl-rich region. The story is one of Steinbeck's most popular books and has been widely used in high school classes, sometimes considered a parable. Oh, when Coyotito, an infant, is stung by a scorpion, Kino, his father, must find a way to pay the town doctor to treat him. All right. I think I'm mixing up my books because I think I read The Pearl at a different time. David and nor I have been to Australia. Are you from Australia? Yeah, I was confusing it. I thought it was Hemingway, but it was Steinbeck. Do you think Scissor Fight might have been compromised, like Assange? No, there's nothing beautiful about that. You are indeed from Australia. Nice. Very good. I think it's David's sister's been to Australia. And I think I would probably like to go. I have not. The only place I've been out of the country is to Mexico, like Rosarita and Tijuana. And I didn't really feel like it's, it was definitely an eye opener. But still a North American continent. I don't know if I'm a big traveling person. I have traveled quite a bit with David across the United States, which is pretty big considering how big the United States is. You look at a map of Europe or a map of the United States, it's like going across all of Europe, but going across Europe, you go into different cultures. Or different countries, and here it's just one big country. I have not actually been to Canada. I live close enough to go to Canada, but I just haven't. I mean, it's only a couple-hour drive from where I am up to Canada. You've been to Windsor, England? The heating is on. I'm sitting in front of my heater. Oh, Windsor, Ontario in Canada. Nice. Yes, it was before the show. Before we started doing the show.
When was that?
When you've gone to Mexico, I've gone to Mexico separately.
Yes, we've both been to Mexico separately. Bless you. I was there in the 1980s with my father, looking for...
Oh, you were right, it was Steinbeck.
Thank you.
I was thinking of Steinbeck's The Pearl.
No, The Pearl, yeah. My father and I were looking for some pharmaceuticals. Back then you could get pharmaceuticals for less in Tijuana. And we were on a mission to help my mother who wanted some pharmaceuticals. And we went down there. Yep.
Yeah, Victoria, BC is a good place. I'm sure it's a good... I could take a couple ferries. I'm only a couple ferries away from Victoria. I don't know if I want to go and get my passport to go over there.
I don't want to be rousted by the Border Patrol. They've rousted a lot of Americans just simply because...
It's the American Border Patrol that would probably roust you more.
Yeah. I mean, you can go into Canada, no problem. They'll say, welcome to Canada. So nice to have you here, I mean, it's like, great. You went to Vietnam 3 weeks ago and saw Roger Ailes in a restaurant bathroom? No kidding. Thanks for sharing, Wormy Food. Are we paying attention to the Twitch chat enough?
Yes.
Good.
Cherry Brown's from Australia. And now everyone in Twitch will come back because you're here. It was like rolling, and then they saw me coming in. They're like, no, David, don't go. And then it stopped. And now it'll come back.
Yeah, an honest news anchor destroys CIA Russia hack claims in under 5 minutes. So he knows for sure that Russia's been hacking. Wow, that's cool. In under 5 minutes, he completely goes after this. Let's see if we can watch this maybe.
So the CIA says that Russia did, in fact, attempt to sway the U.S. presidential election in favor of Donald Trump. And while most of the media is taking that statement as fact, we're pushing back and looking at least 5 problems with this claim. This is a reality check you won't see anywhere else. Well, by now you've heard that the CIA is sure that Russia did hack the DNC and John Podesta's emails with the intent of swaying the election toward Donald Trump. And predictably, here's how some politicians have responded.
The Russians are not our friends. It defies belief that somehow Republicans in the Senate are reluctant to either review Russian tactics or ignore them.
Our men and women in the intelligence community who gather and assess intelligence are very careful and very deliberate, and if they weren't, they wouldn't be in the positions that they occupy.
But what most media isn't doing is actually asking for evidence of these claims. I'm going to give you 5 problems with what the CIA is saying. Problem number 1, how the information was released in the first place, because the CIA did not officially release this information. Rather, anonymous sources inside the CIA leaked this conclusion to the Washington Post on Friday. And then another anonymous source leaked the same conclusion to the New York Times. From the Post, the CIA has concluded in a secret assessment that Russia intervened in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump win the presidency, rather than just undermine confidence in the U.S. electoral system. The Post goes on to report this. Intelligence agencies have identified individuals with connections to the Russian government who provided WikiLeaks with thousands of hacked emails, and both the DNC and John Podesta's email accounts. So here's the second problem here. These anonymous sources, well, they did not provide any evidence to support those statements.
Yeah, because they were anonymous. I mean, hello? Okay, I've seen enough. I mean, anonymous sources did not provide any actual evidence to support those claims. You know that most of the WikiLeaks came from anonymous sources, so of course Russia sent this information in. I mean, come on, we're not stupid. Thank you so much, Sarah. You're awesome. That was Sarah for the night, everybody. Thank you. Bravissimo. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, so it's obviously they're anonymous sources. They're not going to have any proof of it. So we're pretty much on track. The CIA and the FBI are doing their due diligence to get to the bottom of this. And I want to urge the FBI to investigate themselves for pedophilia. That would be one area. And ask yourself why you're not investigating the higher brass up in Washington, D.C. for these sex crimes against children, which were alluded to in the WikiLeaks that definitely brought up weird emails where people are talking about pizzas. A Podesta email and in the WikiLeaks actually talked about they had 4 pizzas, or they had 8 pizzas, 4 of which were healthy and the other 3 were not, may not make it. You don't talk about pizzas like they're healthy. I mean, we're talking about children here and people who are abusing children and murdering children, torturing children. I cannot believe what we have to put up with as viewers to this nightmare. We're all sitting here going, what's going on? Are they investigating? How do we know the FBI are not purposely ignoring this? Because they themselves are involved. I mean, seriously. So yeah, we do want to look into the Pizzagate thing, and we do want to find out more about Russia's involvement. So I'm asking the FBI and the CIA to start cleaning up your act. And because my mouth is rather large, people don't like me. Thank you, Potato Girl. Yeah, people really dislike large-mouthed people. Today I was at a casino, and I actually saw a Native American there who was from this area, who had a very similar mouth to mine. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, but I have Native American in me. So instead of making fun of my large mouth, and seriously, just simply look at it as a Native American trait and show some respect, okay? Yes, I sometimes visit casinos and traveling. I use them for bathrooms. Yeah. Yes. He was standing there with his Native American headdress. It was very interesting. I think he's a shaman. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, he practically did a dance for me. But no, seriously, we've got the potential to talk about some serious issues on our show. So talking about body parts is irrelevant. I'm still working on this Native American dance. I'm Algonquin heritage, there is a tradition in the Algonquin tribes to dress up in blackface. So what I did was completely concurrent with the Algonquin tribal ceremonies, but I'm not an Algonquin practicing Native American. So when I did the Broken St. Obama's video, it was more of a satirical piece on the bad president that we have here, Donald Trump. Some people think I'm an alien. Some people think there's a picture on the internet that was morphed into this with a wide-angle lens. And this is what they do. They try to create people that look like aliens. I don't have a tribal relationship with the Algonquins. I just have Native American chromosomal history. So making fun of my beautiful mouth is really a mistake on your part. It only draws attention to me and makes me more of an interesting character. There's some people that believe that I'm an alien, possibly from Mars, or that perhaps I was born to be My Favorite Martian. The Return of My Favorite Martian, starring David Sponheim. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. I mean, we could take it to the next level. That's simply illogical. That's simply illogical. That's simply illogical. That is simply illogical. Bill Bixby, why are you on the set with me? I'm a Martian. I used to watch My Favorite Martian. It was great. Fantastic show. All right, let's move on. We don't have to talk about me all the time. This isn't about me. It was about you. It's about the country. It's about what we breathe and the water we drink. I love that show. Yeah, I did too, Obi. My favorite actor was Bill Bixby at the time. What do you think about the assassination in Turkey, Dave? I don't think it happened, Obi. I believe that the Russians faked it to gather sympathy because they're trying to take the attention off of the investigation going on about Russians' involvement in our election. No, I don't manscape. Do you mean do I some sort of physical manscaping on my body? I shave. Is that manscaping? Incognito, yes. Yeah, I think it was completely fakery on the Russians' part. I'm kind of personally, I'm offended by the idea that they can simply think that they can get away with this. I mean, we all know about the fake Soviet-style propaganda machine that was around prior to Russia's current state of affairs. I mean, really, you actually agree with my kooky conspiracy for once. Thanks. I think it's just to take our eyes off of Russia right now. And believe me, John McCain and those fine senators and congressmen are trying to do their best to get to the bottom of this, to protect our country. I have a feeling that this election will be thrown right out the door pretty soon. You can't camp out in a campaign office if you're a Russian government. It's a violation of the Logan Act. That alone puts Donald Trump in risk of being 3 years in jail. I've always been this way, if you're calling it that way, but I'm not somebody who's trying to be different. I'm kind of a person who doesn't give a crap what you think about who I am. That's the best way to describe who I am. I'm the unvarnished candidate. No filtering, no polish, just right out there, right there in your face. No, I'm not Mormon. I was raised Catholic, and then I discovered Zen Buddhism. And then I discovered the meaninglessness of religion. But I still believe in God. David, how is the Russian hacked? When you used other shows, it was Homeland. Yeah, Homeland can hack things. Russia can hack things. We saw Homeland hack the Georgia server. That doesn't preclude the idea of Russians hacking the DNC. I mean, hello? Just because one person's hacking one place doesn't preclude another group of people hacking another place. I mean, are you stupid? Oh, I'm sorry. Don't answer that. Pharma executives arrested in conspiracy to create opioid addicts for profit. Waking Times has got a reveal about how they turn us into junkies. Big Pharma is huge, and many of you don't realize the dangers of taking a lot of pharmaceuticals, especially the synergistic effects of these things as they go through your body and turn you into erectile dysfunction aficionados who have to go to Viagra just to get it up. Pharma executives really, just under the radar in the American dream is a terrible crisis ruining families. destroying communities and killing people who are just too young to die. Overdoses from opiates, synthetic opiate drugs, heroin have become a genuine epidemic. You know, we have been protecting. The truth is, our government, and Donald Trump won't talk about this, our government has been protecting the Afghanistan warlords with our military. We now have about 10,000 men guarding opium crops throughout Afghanistan. And while we've got 10,000 men over there, it's killing tens of thousands of Americans a year, swamping emergency services, and creating a booming economy out of rehab. There are a number of causes to this problem, and while hardcore drug addiction may have complicated roots, there's no denying that our society is absolutely flooded with many different types of opiate drugs. The market for legal... I just hate those. The market for legal and illegal opiates has become so huge that prescription pills and fake or hybrid pills are being mass-produced and shipped to the U.S. from places like China. Yep. So America is addicted to so many drugs like Vicodin. My theories are not convoluted. You're just not looking deep enough. Not everything is black and white. Start with that, okay? Yes, you are welcome here. This is a gay-friendly chat. I have no need to, make you feel weird for being a homo. It's perfectly fine. But don't make me feel weird for being a hetero. Thank you. Can't stop because we won't stop. You want me to play the song? I know. It's so addictive. The new one by Scissor Fight rocks. Calling me names when that's slander. To come in here and call me names like that. You can't do that. Okay, so we'll play that in just a bit. Thank you. What is your hairline? Did you steal Colonel Sanders' suit? No, I actually went to a thrift store and got this for $4.99. We've been over this. Let's talk about something else. How come none of you care about the infrastructure bank loans that have been on the screen for most of the show? Nobody's asked me any questions about them. Nobody cares. None of you even want to start a business. You just want to sit there and watch TV all the time. What's on Netflix? I don't know. His life is too good, isn't it? Well, there are people out there working their ass off just to make plastic items to sell in your dollar store. So wake up, America. Yeah. Let's talk, the microloan thing is certainly something we could always address, but as you know, I'm now moving in favor of $400 per U.S. citizen. And I think it's high time we talked about that. $400 per month, U.S., spread it around. Welcome worldwide audience. We have people come from all over the world coming in here nightly, watching our show. I don't work anywhere. I retired. I got so tired I retired. I used to work 3 jobs. That way I saved up enough money to do this, and honestly, this takes up full time. I mean, it's like a daily thing with me. It takes me about 8 hours of Zen meditation just to unwind from one of these sessions. No, I think $400 is enough for all of you. Every man, clone, android, cybernetic organism could get into. No, actually, you have to be a U.S. adult to get this money. You never got past 5 minutes of a Netflix show, always get ahead by 4 minutes? Okay. I am not rehashing internet's news stories, sir. Far from it. It's a far, far better thing that I do. I add nuance and flair. All right, so I'm rehashing internet websites, online sharing information. Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you so much, Cherry. It's so nice of you to come in here from Australia. Yeah, you can touch yourself now, buddy. It's okay. Nobody's watching, except for the webcam right in front of you. How many of you think that the webcam is watching you while you're in your room? That the NSA is actually tapped into your website or into your webcam and they're actually looking at you? Hello? Well, that's her choice. She doesn't have to work. I told her I've got enough retirement to pass on to her if something happens to me. She chose to work. She likes to be, working and active. David, if you have a job, you still get $4. Yeah, that's the whole idea, guys. It goes to everybody. There's nobody in here that's not going to get a different amount. We're all getting the same, and every one of these people. Good evening from the Kremlin. Hello. What do you have to say today? You got Kremlin stuff here, huh? The Russians are watching us, everybody. Hello, Russia. Hey, I have nothing against your country. I really enjoy the fact that you have a strong leader. I think it's great. Unfortunately, we don't need you camped out in the White House. No offense, but you wouldn't want a private organization, a corporation camped out in the Kremlin, would you? The Kremlin is controlling Trump, I know. Eric, thanks for coming in. We're wondering where you were. Eric, for good. Thanks, Eric. We know you're coming in under this new title because you don't want everyone to know your dad is going to become president. Yeah. No, and you're just overly critical. I think you're depressed, and you probably need a good something up like ginkgo biloba or something. Taking it out of one pocket, putting it back in the other is not a new concept. The lefts love it. Yeah, we don't want to do that. This isn't coming out of your pocket. The money you go, the truth is, the money that you put into your taxes doesn't even come from. You're paying into taxes, right? It goes to the Treasury, then they give it to the Federal Reserve, and they write out a check to the World Bank, and it covers the interest on the debt that we keep extending out every year. So every year that we pulled out, with a $787 billion for ARRA, American Recovery Reinvestment Act, that money came out of the interest. That's it. We expanded that money. We pulled more money out, and the interest then had to be paid. So where does it come from? It comes from an expansion of a loan. We didn't have that money to put out. Consequently, we now have a $20 trillion debt. Now, Donald Trump doesn't want to tell you that we're just simply borrowing from Paul to pay Peter or Peter to pay Paul, but that's the fact. So when we pull out $400 per month per U.S. adult citizen, we're going to get rid of welfare as we know it, which is going to save our country about $300 billion. This cost right here to give about 210 million people $400 a month is $787 billion, the exact amount that ARRA is. So we're going to be saving about $300 billion on welfare. So pull that off the top, and we're looking at 487. Well, technically, we're looking at. It's not that big of a deal. It's about $500 billion. That's half of the military budget in this country. We can even borrow that. We could also make a decision to sell Japan Hawaii, and would automatically bring in I'd say 200. There's a lot of money we owe Japan, obviously. But I can't really give you that number. They'd have to negotiate a figure. But it could be equal to the debt that we have with Japan, theoretically. That would give us about $2.5 trillion in wiggle room. So we could then extend out and give more money to the American people by selling Japan. I mean, who wouldn't want to sell a state that violated national law when they produced a birth certificate that's completely bogus? Why would we want to keep that state around? Why don't we pick up Puerto Rico, for instance? Well, we need a little wiggle room. We're at $20 trillion in debt, incognito. We can barely meet the minimum payment on our interest. So when you pay your taxes, it's just going to the Rothschilds because they're covering the debt that we currently have, in case you didn't know that. Well, we could keep one island for America, 2 islands for the native Hawaiian people. And the rest of the islands, like Oahu and Kauai and the mainland, could all go to Japan. And why wouldn't they want it? They're already heavily invested in that country. Look, we've got to make a few decisions here to move our country forward. We can still keep our base in Honolulu. But if we acquire Puerto Rico, the interest is 10%. So it's up there, $2 trillion. That's right. $2 trillion a year, and that's practically what we make as a nation on the taxes. We're making about as much in tax revenue as Russia is making from their commerce and business. About $2 trillion a year. I've looked at the numbers. Yes, I saw the ambassador. It's a terrible thing. I'm so sorry for you. Kremlin is here. I really believe that it was a fake. Ambassador was not killed. I'm pretty sure he's still alive. I have great confidence that he's living with his family right now somewhere in Siberia. He's probably been shuttled to a gulag in an apartment. We can stop. We're going to play this in a second. Hang on. Yeah, no doubt. He's probably living a very nice life. He's got air conditioning or heat on or something. Okay, David, a bastard got shot. Yes. We're not getting any translation from your statement. So whatever you're saying, what language is it? It's gibberish. All right, thank you. What the hell does an overplayed song have to do with politics? Good question. Boy, you're a real sourpuss, 915. Are you like alone by yourself in an apartment with a fluorescent light blaring in your eyes? I mean, you realize that CFLs can cause cancer, can't you? I mean, you realize that compact fluorescent lights are not appropriate. And direct your camera down a little bit lower so no one can see what's in the kitchen. Anyway, that's a joke. Stop picking on Sherry Brown, please. Thanks. Okay, we're going to do the Can't Stop video right now. We need exercise. That's the answer to your question. We need to get up and work out. I've got another hour or possibly a half hour to do here. No, I'm just saying, you know, I was asking how many people believe their camera was seeing, the NSA was watching them through their camera, and I got no responses. I just had to kind of go with that. But yeah, we can afford $400 per U.S. citizen. Why not? Jeez, are you kidding me? It would help the economy. The retail sector would grow. All kinds of service jobs. You could clean your carpet professionally. Time for the gay music? Oh, okay. If you think so.
Computer that makes music. Hello, Peter.
Hello. Now I've got a microphone here, and since my voice is about the only thing we've got around that makes a noise, let's try.
We can't stop.
And that's do. And we're ready to play it. Now if we type in P, comma, M, full stop, P, C, and that gives...
We can't stop.
You can also play it on...
We can't stop. We can't stop. We can't stop.
Now what you can also do, see, is the fact that you can get that sound to be played by the computer, playing a tune that I've already got inside the computer, waiting. Now all I need to do is call up the next page, and we're ready to play.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, can't stop,
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president.
Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, been head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop. Can't stop, can't stop. Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop. Can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop. Can't stop, can't stop. Can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Hey, at least I eat well. Yeah, millions watching. Thank you so much for coming in. Donald is president because he lied the most. Yeah. That's what happened. Welcome, a worldwide audience. Welcome to the show. Yeah. That's an inspirational video that we play just to keep people going. Dice. Oh my God, Dice is here. Hey, man. I don't hang out with Alex Jones. No, I don't even know the guy. Go away. All right, it's cool. No. Well, no, I eat wheat bread. That's my biggest downfall. Wow. She's pretty athletic. How to build a cordwood house. Interesting. Many of you are trying to, build your own tiny house and live on your own. Hey, man.
Materials. But bees and beavers and other indigenous builders on the planet know instinctively that round is the most useful and most efficient shape to build their homes. They don't need a course in geometry to tell them that that's going to give them the most space for the least work, and they're very concerned about that. They want to get in before wintertime. If you take 38.2, multiply times pi, you get 120 feet of perimeter, and pi r squared gives you the area. You can believe me when I tell you it's 1,146 square feet of useful area in that building, which is 26% better off than this one. And
you can learn a lot on the internet. Have you guys tried using the internet and tried to learn things? It's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, Joan Rivers, are you kidding me? Oh, you haven't seen, calling me a pant load is correct. I have a very large, I don't want to talk about it. But you are correct, sir. Yeah. If I got any more into it, you'd probably start seeing things. And I wouldn't want that. You learn new sexual positions online? There you go. There you have it. What is sex? You talk about it. You humans talk about it quite often. What is it exactly? TMI on that, buddy. Yeah. Little Marvin Gaye sexual healing. Mr. Dino says, David, I'm so sick of this song. Thank you, Mr. Dino. Gosh, you're actually hanging out in our YouTube room, man. Good for you. I know. I was trying to explain to everybody that sex is strictly for having children and everything else is perverted. You perverts. Sorry. You learned that jet fuel can't melt steel beams online. That's right, baby fist. Hey, speaking of that, let's talk about the geometry of the 9/11 event and how impossible it was to see the trade towers taken down in one fell swoop. I mean, let's ask ourselves what's happening here. You've got a small little clip of 15 frames of the Pentagon being hit with what appears to be a missile. What, you serious? Can't have sex without? Is it too PC? Yeah. You can have sex all you want. I just had to call you a pervert. Is that okay? Have a twin dancing. Excellent. Those dag melt dame stain dale bame dang dang dang. Hang on. You're comparing me to Pee Wee Herman? No way. So what do you think? That looks like a 767 jet or the tip of a missile? Or do you care? Yeah. Yeah, that's the tip of a missile. I like the Greek uppercut. I have very fast upper body twitch muscles. I found this out the hard way. I don't want to do a Pee Wee video. It degrades the show. We take this very seriously. Will you take an actor role in the new movie Planet of the Apes? Absolutely not. I'm not an actor. I have no professional training whatsoever. I don't know what the Greek uppercut is, Potato Girl, but they seem to know. No, I'm not like Trump. I don't have any links to the Russian mafia. No, this is a real picture of the 15 frames that the Pentagon and the FBI released. That's all we ever got, and there were 83 camera angles of the Pentagon being hit. Would anyone like to know why they struck the World Trade Center and why they created the biggest event in world history next to Pearl Harbor? You care? No? Okay. You don't have to care. It's cool. There have been 14 people that have mysteriously died along the way. Yeah. Key witnesses in the event. Barry Jennings reported that he and Michael Hess had been blown back by a big explosion in Building 7. Yeah, he later said in an interview that he heard explosions. He also reported that he was stepping over bodies, contradicting the official government claim that no one died in Building 7. Barry died mysteriously on August 19th, 2008, 2 days before the release of the NIST report's first draft. And Beverly Eckert, yeah, her husband, remember this? When she lost her husband on 9/11, and she did not believe the official story of 9/11. Remember, she met with Barack Obama. She was among the families organizing for disclosure around the facts of September 11th, including a lawsuit against the Saudi and U.S. government. She was offered money by the U.S. government to keep her silent, but Beverly did not comply. She died at age 57 in a mysterious commuter airplane crash on February 12, 2009. A week before she died, she met with President Barack Obama as an advocate for those affected by 9/11. But what you're not hearing is, a week before she died, she met with him. What you're not hearing is Barack Obama actually bought her a ticket to Chicago on a plane, which went down, along with a couple of other activists, peace activists from the 1960s, believe it or not. So she was just kind of like taken out of the equation. He said, Barack Obama, well, let's be clear. We support what you're doing, Beverly. We're going to send you to Chicago and find out more. So I've got a ticket here for you and anyone you want to take with you on a one-way trip to the tarmac. Yeah, they get rid of these people. Kenneth Johanneman. Yeah. What are you talking about? You guys are sick. Kenneth was a janitor at the WTC. He reported seeing explosions in the basement and upper floors of the tower. Johanneman reported a massive explosion in the basement of one of the two twin towers and rescuing someone who received full body burns from an explosion that took place at the base, not the top of the building. More evidence of a demolition. Okay, Walton, this is your last warning. You are now facing the ban. The ban hammer going down on Walton for the first time. Mr. Dorn was a 9/11 victim lawyer, volunteered. He died on April 28, 2009 when his single-engine plane crashed in Ohio. Yeah, you're ready to get banned, Walton? It's your chance. Way too many coincidences. Former operations manager, Virginia Department of Transportation, the Pentagon. Yeah. Yeah, I might ban Walton. He's starting to piss me off. He actually thinks that I'm lying to him. Yeah, I mean, I never lie to anybody. This guy had an unobstructed view of the Pentagon crash site, amazing unseen photos, and this guy ended up crashing in his own car. About a week after the filmmakers obtained the testimony on Crystal Landis committed suicide. No further info into this. Bertha Champagne, another one that was killed. You ready for the big ban, Walton? Bertha was a babysitter for 9/11 perp Marvin Bush's family. Marvin Bush, the little-known younger brother of George W., was the director of the Curacom and Stratesec. the company that provided electronic security to the World Trade Center in the days before the attack and provided security at Dulles Airport. Yeah, remember Bertha? On 9/11, Marv Bush was on the board of HCC Insurance Holdings, which insured parts of the WTC. October 10, 2003, 62-year-old Bertha Champagne was found crushed to death in her own vehicle in a driveway in front of the Bush's family house. What did she know? Millions watching. Come on in. Paul Smith. Look at this guy. Yeah. Chopper 7 pilot of ABC's 9/11 International Shot Chopper, who caught the second plane fly by the tower. Boom. Boom. Millions watching. The black car has not been identified. He was killed when he was run over by a cab. Cameraman John DiGiorno was on the chopper with Paul Smith on 9/11. And DiGiorno confirmed he was a cameraman in News Chopper 7 who took the first footage aired allegedly in the United States flight hitting the second tower. DiGiorno had refused to talk about what he saw on 9/11 and no longer responds to reporters. Wow. Millions more watching. It's amazing. Okay, as we do this, Deborah Palfrey, one of the most infamous of the 9/11 suicidings. Deborah ran a prostitution ring that had top 9/11 perps among his clients. Former NSA official noted that some of Palfrey's call girls were being chauffeured by a limousine to poker parties attended by former CIA director and co-chair of the Joint 9/11 Inquiry. Billions are watching. One of the reasons signed her for the Goss abrupt resignation was his alleged involvement in the prostitution scandal. On the morning of 9/11, Goss was having breakfast with the head of Pakistan's Air Services Intelligence General Mahmoud Ahmed, the man who ordered a wire transfer of $100,000 to alleged hijacker Mohammed Atta. I know, I'll turn it off. According to the former NSA official Wayne Matson, Palfrey may have also known that Jack Abramoff was also connected to the DC Madam scandal, allowed at least 2 of the 9/11 hijackers to use one of the casinos in the days before 9/11. Look at him. Yeah. See, this is where the music comes in. Well, I'm trying to get you involved, Vicious. If you don't listen, Deborah Palfrey said she had information that would have been of great interest about 9/11. Knowing the intelligence they picked up about 9/11 before it happened, she said. Let's listen in. This is a clip from the Alex Jones show where they interviewed Deborah. She didn't say what she was...
I mean, she's already dropped the atomic bomb on them. She's already released the numbers.
Yeah, I have, and not to be concerned, I have no intention of letting anyone buy me off or make any kind of a deal with me.
And you're not planning to commit suicide.
And I'm not planning to commit suicide either.
The fact that you're so visible really protects you going on Larry King and other big shows, but you want to put it on record that you're not planning to commit suicide?
No, I'm not planning to commit suicide. I'm planning to go into court on April 7th if indeed we do have the trial, and I plan on defending myself vigorously, and I plan on exposing the government in ways that, I do not think they want me to expose them.
Law enforcement about their investigation into the D.C. Madam.
When she went outside, she noticed the 3-wheel bicycle had been moved that was normally kept in the shed. Upon entering the shed located on the west side of the residence, Blanche Palfrey discovered her daughter, Deborah, had apparently hung herself using a nylon rope from a metal beam on the ceiling of the shed. She then called 911.
Yep.
At approximately 11:01 a.m., Tarpon Springs Fire Rescue had pronounced Deborah Jean Palfrey deceased.
They murdered her. Yeah. Major General David Worley, yes. He and his wife were on a train ride. Worley was the officer who scrambled jet fighters into the Washington skies on the day of 9/11. On June 22nd, 2009, he and his wife were killed and 2 commuter trains crashed into each other. 7 others were killed. And they said that this thing was hacked. The entire commuter line was hacked. Both trains were ripped open and smashed together in the worst accident in the Metro Rail system's 33-year history. Investigators determined that the striking train was under automatic rather than manual control. Isn't that interesting? Salvatore. Oh, look at him, yeah. Salvatore Princiata was a first responder firefighter from Ladder 9. These are actual pics of the Ladder 9 fire truck. Clearly showing an explosion. You can see the windows have been blown out. Yeah. The window gasket on the outside blew out the windows? I don't think so. It didn't blow out just the middle portion of the windows. It blew the windows all the way back to the frame where it was mounted. On May 23rd, 2007, Salvador Picciotto was found murdered. And then David Graham. It goes on and on. Yeah, this guy, he knew something. This is the last one. David Graham saw 3 of the alleged hijackers in Shreveport with Pakistani businessmen prior to 9/11. He came to the FBI with this information and received them threats from the Fed. On September 17th, 2006, David Graham was found poisoned to death. Graham's death was never investigated. Is all this just a coincidence? Or are we going to sit here and just wonder, gee, what's going on? So yeah, we've got a lot to be concerned about here, and it's not getting any better. There's been no detailed investigation into 9/11. And remember when Trump said he's going to go and investigate 9/11? I predict he'll never do anything of the sort. If anything, he's on the inside of this job. He best friends with Larry Sinclair, the guy who profited $5.4 billion on this incredible event that led to our nation starting 2 wars. These aren't my theories. These are the theories of a lot of experts who've done detailed work. Many of you just sit there in front of the TV and go, oh, yeah, Saudi Arabia did it. That's what Donald Trump said. Yeah. I mean, that's about the size of your assessment. I'm showing you all these links. I haven't even gotten to the demolition issue. So pretend like this is Alex Jones, and you're listening to Alex Jones, and I'll go into detail, okay? So what you're gonna find is the deep investigation was taken over. Okay. No, they're not. You guys just don't understand what's happening. You in particular. Well, yeah, there are thousands of unsolved murders every year, incognito, but are you writing an apology, or do you even care? I mean, it's like you don't care about the 50,000 kids that are missing that Donald Trump doesn't even care about. Every year, 50,000 kids are missing in this country, and I'm not talking about just mom and dad getting into a fight and the kid taken to a motel. I'm telling you, there are serious problems in our criminal justice system that it's not investigating the Pizzagate story. So let's go to the Pizzagate room. No, I will not be a guest on Alex Jones. No way. Oh. Darkness, my old friend. Darkness, my old friend. Okay, so let's get to Pizzagate. We've got stories we have to talk about. We're running out of time. I know. Cowbell? A little cowbell for anybody who's suffering from cowbell come-down-itis. There you go. Your other tactic wasn't working, you shifted gears. I am not a disinformation agent. If anything, I'm the guy trying to pry open the truth. Yeah, every night. We are convinced that Pizzagate is a story that will never go away until we figure out what's going on here. I mean, look at all the cases of people taking in for child molestation, and Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump's one of his best friends. We're not getting anywhere with no investigation. Is he connected to Pizzagate? Yeah. Is Donald Trump connected to Pizzagate? You know, how do we get to the bottom of this? No, I would not work for RT, Kremlin. Thank you for asking, but we're not even communicating. I don't talk to Russian governments like Trump does. Okay? Thank you. God. We do have a plan to help the country. Our plan is to help build solar rooftops on houses and also fix up existing houses that are currently in disrepair and make them new like this. You will actually be able to own a house like this for $500 a month payments for 10 years. No, Pizzagate is the whole cover-up of the child pedophilia ring in Washington, D.C. that's being completely shunned by you guys avoiding it, claiming it's fake news. You don't care about 50,000 kids being abducted every year? And we don't know what's happening? They're tortured, they're murdered, they're abused sexually. You have no concern for that? Because that's what you people that say that you don't agree with Pizzagate are really saying. You're really saying you don't want to look into the Podesta emails that reveal a child trafficking ring running right there in the heart of the DNC. You don't want to talk about Donald Trump's association with Jeffrey Epstein. All right, so many of you just don't care about the plight of children. Is that it? Or you're just like hardened freaks? Or maybe you're pedophiles yourself, of course. We've got the pedos in here trying to tell me not to talk about it. I should have guessed. Yeah, think for yourselves, folks. Eric Metal made a good point. Consider all this is propagated from the left to discredit what really goes on, to make those who actually seek the truth be labeled a conspiracy nut. Think for yourselves. Good point. You got pedos in the room. We got pedos in the room. How come no one is doing anything about it? Because the FBI is involved? You have been terminated. I am willing to go the distance and expose this as President of the United States if I get your help. I need your help to stop the pedophilia going on in the Washington, D.C. area. We're not going to dismiss this. Well, at this point, anybody who believes the party line, Dog Milk, is worthless to me. I'm trying to get to the bottom of why kids are being abducted. You're telling me I can't talk about a name called Pizzagate. You're trying to censor our show, which makes you worthless to me.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
E from Truth Virus, checking out our good buddy.
E from Tooth Virus is going to be in, man. We're going to do E from Tooth Virus coming up. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. We'll do that a little bit later, thank you. Well, I'm talking about getting to the bottom of why this is happening. George Washington, A.K. Rodney, come on, you can do better than that. No, Pizzagate is not fake. You've been led a lot of BS. The story is real. Yeah, people are worried that these weirdos... Have you seen the clip of the ping pong performance group doing their little routine on stage where they talk about their special perversions? Oh yeah, the guy who owns the Comet Pizza Store is the guy who starred in that performance art piece. Oh, you didn't see that? So you haven't even done your work. Scissor Fight, you're back, man. Welcome. We got through the night. You built your Christmas tree and everything? Oh, you strung your lights outside the house. You know how many people die every year stringing lights across their house for Christmas? Any guess? Any idea? Wouldn't you like to know? If I was a ballless idiot, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. I would have been long gone a long time ago. I can cut through all your mindless chatter for days and years to come. I've got more survivable stamina than any human on Earth because I am clearly superior. Hang on. Falling off ladders while putting up Christmas tree lights. The most recent story we have, how many people are killed decorating for Christmas? I'm not the only one asking these questions. Jingle bells, Santa smells, Dad is on a ladder. While the holidays are meant to be a joyful time spent with friends and family, it's sad to learn how many people are killed decorating for Christmas. According to the Product Safety Commission, 11,000 people end up in the emergency room every Christmas due to decorating injuries, which include broken bones, cuts, and burns. 100 or more fires start every holiday. Ultimately, almost 16 deaths per year are attributed to holiday decorating gone awry. So 16 people, but about 11,000 people break their arms and legs and end up in traction the rest of their life. Yeah, dude, I've been living in order to keep this message alive. Daniel, you've lost your ability to broadcast here. You're out of here. I've been putting you on waivers for a long time, Daniel. Just opened your mouth too fast. Too many bad things coming out of your mouth, accusing me of things. Thanks, Scissor Fight. There's all these things going down right now about different false flags. So being it's Truth Tuesday, we'll be taking a look at all these things.
You know, I have
how I see it has a how I see Sandy Hook too. He's really good. He's got knowledge up the yin yang on the Sandy Hook story. Yeah, we're goodbye, Daniel. Dude, I've had way more power than you could even imagine. We've got millions and millions of viewers watching our show, and they're listening because they're concerned. So you pedos who want me to stop talking about Pizzagate, you can leave now, okay? Because I reserve this late time hour to discuss some of the serious issues facing the country. I mean, when you see all these people getting arrested and put in jail for pedophilia or dying, I mean, some of the worst pedos in the world. This guy, Seville, in England, he was a necrophiliac child murderer. And they found this out after he died. Yeah. So if I can't get to the bottom of why 50,000 kids are missing or disappearing every year in America, I'm not doing my job to find out the perpetrators, at least getting ready to find an investigation that sweeps out all these evil doers in the middle of Washington, D.C. Thank you. Look at guys, you know, you can bark and claim that I'm this or that. You're not ignoring the harsh reality that I'm reaching millions of viewers. Yeah. Look, we get people calling all the time. This couple right here, and I've redacted their photograph so you can't really see it. Actually, they redacted it. I asked them to. This is a couple in North Korea that is actually watching our show on DVD discs because they have to smuggle it out of South Korea. And they managed to put a sign of my face on the wall because they like me that much. And Latvians for David, she's a person in Latvia that watches me. She came in earlier and brought us a really good video of her talking about the show. I just don't have that with me right now. Well, you know, these people are good people and they care about what we're doing. No, it really is. These people are all over the world watching us on UHF, and you scumbag Trump-tards that come in here and act like I shouldn't even have a minute of press time, and I didn't get any in the past 8 years. You think that I should just roll over and die because Trump stole my ideas. David, are you the wife of a North Korean leader? No, but I see your confusion, potato girl. No, I'm not on the U.S. government payroll, Kremlin. And what are you talking to me for? Why don't you go call Trump? You're good friends with him. Get him on the phone. Yeah, you guys have been in touch during the whole campaign, Mr. Kremlin did. Yeah, you Trump-tards and traitors who are selling out your soul off to Russia, you got a guy in here called Kremlin. Yeah, he doesn't know what the heck's going on, too. Nope, nobody's on the payroll of the government. Your head and pick looks like watermelon. That's very derogatory. Calling me a watermelon head person. Yeah, and then look at this. Guest 694 made a good point. Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, he got only 15 months for molesting 4 boys, anally penetrating them in a wrestling environment when he was a coach. Yeah. Oh, that was me. Knock, knock. So yeah, Dennis Hastert only got a year and a half. If you had 4 files on your computer, you'd get probably 4 years in jail. He gets a year and a half for anally penetrating 4 young boys in a wrestling environment as a coach. We could restart if we had a brand new president who was honest, yeah. God. Nails in the coffin for Richie from Boston. They paid for a lie and a fraud and a shill. Hunting coming soon. Okay, Richie from Boston, has he been bought off yet? He got sucked into the Alex Jones vortex. We'll take a look and see what Richie's doing from Zachary Hubbard, who believes that Richie's been taken over through mind control. Or something. Of course, I haven't seen the video yet, so I don't really know what he had to say. It's kind of hard to imagine what he had to say. Gotcha. 10-4 on that, good buddy. No. Okay. Yes, millions of people are watching the show. Thank you so much. So kind. You know, you keep reminding me of all the people that are watching your show. I sometimes forget. I thank you for that, and I wish you the best. I really do. So we are trying to create kind of a discussion here on the issues on a nightly basis. We touched on 9/11. We touched on the truth about Osama bin Laden he's probably still alive. Edward Snowden said he's still alive. And we're kind of getting close to figuring out why they're creating wars, which is interesting. They simply want to get rid of the 90% of the population. So we covered a lot of these subjects many, many times, but it's hard for them to all sink in simultaneously. Yeah. Okay, we're getting back in the show now.
Hey, truth seekers, welcome.
That's
Hello,
Zachary.
everybody. You know, I have some questions about Sandy Hook. I have a lot of questions about Sandy Hook, and these are...
He has questions about Sandy Hook. And yes, we don't have to deal with the iVlog room anymore, so we've disconnected from chat over there. I don't need to investigate. What is your thought on why the song "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa"? Thanks, Straylock. It was originally sung by none other than Michael Jackson in his rendition of "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus." What's my take? Metaphorically speaking, I believe that it is an analogous to what appears to be the takeover of our society by an ethereal mystery man named Santa Claus. And it talks about the growing of our consciousness, or our awareness about sex at an early age. I think it's okay. It's because it deals with just kissing. It's not like pushing boundaries. So thank you, Michael. Thanks for singing before you passed away. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus. It's seemingly a normal thing. You know, it's like nothing is too weird. Possible evidence of cheating by Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thanks,
This is
Michael.
Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5 wishing a happy holiday to all Motown fans.
Mommy's kissing Santa
Now, coming from a young boy who was abused throughout his whole life and openly stated that his father physically beat the Jacksons, I think it's a classic piece that, historically speaking, could be looked at as the ultimate hypocrisy. Twitch is blocking people logging in right now, folks. They're censoring me on Twitch. Thank you so much for telling me, 963. Thank you so much. Boy, we're on it now. Twitch too, yeah. They're taking us down. We're still waiting on the release of the blogtv.ca room. So obviously Michael Jackson kissing Santa Claus is a young man tortured by abusive father, and I know his father is still alive, but we know that Michael complained about his dad abusing him. I don't know what kind of abuse, but physical abuse. They're blocking you right now? Wow, 963, thank you. Yes, well, I'm admitting to you that I'm a genius and a living legend. There's nothing more humble about that. I'm being completely honest and telling you who I am. Guest 482 took 7 hours to log in here, folks. Look at this. So I really am being seen by millions of viewers, and then we got people coming in here saying that they're laughing. But we really are being seen by millions of viewers. This Bond censorship, Twitch censorship. Fishy, I'm talking to you. Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? Long time here, Baby Fist. Long time fan. Where did you get your stylish beige suits? Thrift store. I got it at a thrift store. Yep, Mark is censoring the servers. I don't have a Chatterbait chat, but somebody's rebroadcasting me on Chatterbait. Thank you. Ragnar, that's your opinion. I'm telling you the truth. I'm a genius and I'm a living legend. So I'm not trying to brag here. It's more of a burden. Do you think I want to be a genius and a living legend? God, man. You think I asked, gee, Mommy, could I be born into this world to see everything as all the sick weirdos that are trying to govern everyone and ruin the planet? No. No, I was kind of forced into this reality. Many of you don't understand that when you face this adversity, you realize that things are more important. That people are simply molded into who they are, Mr. Anderson. They simply feel that they're special. Take Michael Jackson, for instance. Michael Jackson was a person who was cultivated by the machine, produced by MK Ultra to be the smiling, laughing, perfect, entertaining young man. This is an example of the Illuminati and what they've done and how they've manipulated the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. How they've turned you into a mush-brain propagandized, brain-dead, intelligent people who are waking up every single day. Oh, this guy's Dabu7. Have you seen him online? People say this guy's a shill too. He reeks of military. Everything about him seems to be the military. I don't know. And he's made a lot of money as a YouTube star. So many of these people who are YouTube stars are being manipulated just like Michael was. Yeah, it's like they think that they're somehow offering new information without endorsing a political movement. No, I've never been mentally challenged. Oftentimes people who are super smart are misperceived. That's true. We have thrones, we have a seesaw. David, how do you feel about millions of dollars being used to save animals or to hurt animals? I agree, Fairbite. We've got a serious problem with the Pizzagate issue in D.C. No, Sarah's running a heater in the other room. She's doing great. Michael Jackson started on YouTube when he was 5 years old. You're so funny. You saw mommy kissing a transgender. Yeah, wouldn't that be a new song and a little bit more appropriate for some of our new viewers who are Common Core recipients? Yeah, let's sing a new song. I saw mommy kissing a transgender. I think this Common Core thing is a little bit over top, and this whole idea of bringing in transgenderism to children is just so freaky, it's weird. You know, in Norway, they won't allow your kids to have a gender until they're like a certain age. You have to dress them as non-gender identifiable. I mean, can you believe that? It's insane. I can't do the Michael Jackson moonwalk. I'm sorry. Who are your political heroes? My political heroes. One of them is John F. Kennedy. You know, the one who said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. I like that. I know that when I was in Hannesport with Bobby, he and I would often joke about how it would have been great if I could have lived to be 80 years old and saved the nation. Well, it hasn't gone well the past 2 years. 2,000 years plus is a kind of a failure. Have you looked around and seen the weather patterns changing? Oh, that's right. You're one of those Trump supporters who doesn't think there's climate change. You want to stick your head in one of the sewage dumps that are taking on all this crap off the sky. Not literally, of course. Please don't say negative things. My cat is beautiful. I love her. Thank you. Please try to say beautiful things. You're going to hurt my feelings. Mass poisoning. British town decides to add fluoride to milk, offering it to children. Look at this, folks. Natural News is getting this directly to you. The death of the planet. Schools in Blackpool, England, will now be offering fluoride-infused milk at the school, but there are many questions about such a practice. After approving the program early in 2016, the northwestern coastal town announced that they would be distributing the fluoridated milk to the town's 8,000 school-age children I mean, what a bunch of crap. Can you believe this? They're poisoning these children with fluoridation. It's bizarre. I hardly say any negative things, Ragnar. I'm very positive. The millions can't come in here, you brain-dead idiot. Guess 437. Brain-dead idiot. Trump doesn't need counsel for scientific community because he has a very good brain. You're kidding, right? Trump, he went to California, he said there was no drought. That's the guy you chose for president, you stupid Trump-tard idiots.
Oh, just one.
And Big Hay, he's going to talk about the Berlin situation. He's got his take on this.
Show you how this
Show you.
Berlin truck attack was
Truck attack it.
absolute total garbage.
Absolute total garbage. All right, thank you. I'm a fountain of optimism. Yeah, I wouldn't even be doing this show if I wasn't optimistic. Believe me, I was a real negative, cynical kid when I was a kid. I told you at 7 years old I took on Dow Chemical. Well, now I'm turned into an optimistic, bright, and cheery person who just cares enough to keep going. You know, you can't just stand around and just be cynical all your life. Just because I hated the fact that they've been killing the planet and you guys are probably dying right now, you don't even know it. I also am angry that they're lying to you about everything and they're hurting children. So, you know, I took this whole campaign on the road in 2008 and I said, you know, I'm going to go meet the American people. And I met some pretty interesting people. I met Awesome Carl, the guy who sang Winter Wonderland earlier. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. Okay, a gunman who killed a Russian ambassador in Turkey was a police officer. Go figure, yeah. The Turkish police officer who killed Russian ambassador Andrew Karlov has been identified as Mevlut Mert Etlintas of the Ankara Riot Police, a graduate of the Izmir Police School. He was not on duty when he made the attack at an art gallery on Monday. Well, why was he in back of him if he was not on duty? I mean, how stupid is that? Allegedly, Andrew Karlov had died in the attack. Okay. Pretty sad, if indeed he did die. I want to help prevent any toxins from getting your children. I want to make sure we have good solutions. Yeah, I took on Dow Chemical at 7 years old. Yeah, I was a vocal advocate for the organic food movement and Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. I'm 56 years old. I've been doing this since I was 7. 49 years ago I started this effort. But I'm not going to vote for him when he needs to care. I care. I can hear you. What do you mean I'm not reading your chat? Well, you're not dying. It's just you may have bad food in your diet. I am Dolly Danger. Could you possibly ask yourself, are you eating GMO corn? Yeah, we're waking up the tards here. Hang on. Are you eating GMO corn? Because if you are, you could be risking a sterilization. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to steer you in the right direction. I'm going to play you a video that may scare you, though. Here it is. It's about epicite, a genetically modified ingredient in genetic corn.
For one example of many, in 2001, a small California biotech company called Epicite patented a product, patented a gene, which causes both men and women who eat it, in the form of any product, to produce antibodies to sperm. If the men eat the epicite gene, they produce antibodies to their own sperm, rendering them irreversibly sterile. If women eat the epicite gene, when they have intercourse, their bodies produce antibodies to the sperm that has been deposited, and they become infertile through the destruction of the sperm. Now, DuPont and Monsanto formed a joint venture, purchased the epicite firm, and, quote, commercialized the epicite gene. Do you want to know if the food that you're eating contains the epicite gene? Sure you do. How about the food that your children are eating, or your grandchildren? Sure you do. But the FDA, the Fraud and Death Administration, has made sure that under current laws, it is illegal for you to have that information.
The truth, when you finally chase it down, is almost always far worse than your darkest visions and fears. Ooh, yeah. Please, no sex here. Thank you. Well, I'm going to not purge you, I'm going to mute you. Thank you. All right, well, we're up and running over at the Twitch room, but we have found out that we have been censored. So if you're having a problem getting into Twitch, they're locking me out over there too now, right now. I'm going to be doing a Christmas show, yes. We will, Kremlin. You know what really bothers me is, you know, like Walton said earlier, he didn't believe what I said was true about these celebrities. I lived in Los Angeles, California since I was a child, up until 35 years, and then I moved up here, and I've been up here 20 years. Okay, well, you want the link to chat over there? Okay, sure. Here it is. It's twitch.tv/coolrockparty. So yeah, I should do a Christmas show, but I won't be on camera as much because we're going to be just playing videos. Yeah, but I can't do a lot of Christmas on-camera work. Sarah won't be in here at all. She's a person who really takes pride in her time away from the show, and I don't blame her. Nope, dude, I have no homosexual urges whatsoever. No, this time I'm doing the IRL network, the in real life. Some people helped me out, and Sarah was very effective in getting us on there. I lived in Hollywood or LA for 35 years, and I got to know a lot of people, and in the process I got to hang out in parties where some of the stars that you guys know today used to be young men and women. And many of them were snorting coke in bathrooms around me. I'm not kidding. And I was a witness to this. Well, that's because you're in a server that's not in Asia, 5904. The local U.S. servers are coming in fine. Yeah. They know that U.S. people can come in here because they'll just filter in, but Asia is watching me and they want to come in and talk. But they can't. I partied all the time. People used to think of me as the party hardy, the party-holic guy. No, I never met John Belushi. No. And I don't do cocaine. So by the time I got into my actually late 20s, I was completely censored and eventually blacklisted in Hollywood because I didn't do coke. I knew a woman who knew Jim Morrison. I met a woman who was 47 years old, and I dated her when I was like 19. And she actually dated Jim Morrison. So... well, I'm glad Twitch switched to IRL. Yeah, I really like that. So we've got people in our Twitch room that are asking big questions like, I'd still vote for him though? Okay, I can't believe this? What do you mean you can't believe this? I've been talking to you for some time, I am Dolly. I have never ever been involved with any secret societies. I know Luke Perry. I met him personally, but I've never done anything but a bowl of marijuana with him, you know. And I want to say, Luke Perry, you know, smokes some pretty good weed. The people that knew me in Hollywood, if you want me to start name dropping, I'll be glad to start name dropping. It's beep beep beep beep, and beep beep beep beep, and beep beep beep, and beep beep. But none of those people know me anymore because obviously they know who I am though. I know people that I look at now from the time when I was going, 1970s, early 80s. And no, Luke smokes some pretty good weed. Same Bill Gates pushes mosquito vaccines, depopulation agendas, now celebrates Black Lives Matter and trans activism. What a weird world. We got Bill Gates and the eugenicist who wants to kill off 90% of the population with vaccinations, which are completely untested and unscientific, truly. Now he's pushing Black Lives Matter and trans activism. Oh wow, this guy's really coming out, man. And he's not that rich either. By Rothschild's standards, this man is a pauper. He wouldn't even he could clean my toilet bowl. But the real rich people look down upon people like that, like Trump, all the new rich. So, would you like to ask any question whatsoever, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Despicable. As the world freaks out over what just happened, Obama does the unthinkable. The world is freaking out. Whatever happened to what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Da da da da da. Da, da,
The next
da,
news network
da, da,
is
da, da.
sponsored in part by GetTheTea.
Okay, we'll be talking about that in just a second. Alistair, you don't understand what's going on. I'm going to mute you for your last chance to stay out of the show, and changing your name isn't going to make you any better off. He creates a new account under a new name. No, I've never made out with anybody from Hollywood or anyone except a few women that were absolutely dropped. They were gorgeous. Yeah. Ooh. I dated some of the hottest women in America, I think. Sarah is one of them. You got me, babe. That's right.
So, where's the fish food?
It's over around the corner, and you got 3 little pellets. It's just on the shelf there with the goldfish food.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty active in my early 20s. Dave, legitimate question. Can you talk about the Rothschild family? Absolutely. What would you like to know? I know quite a bit. Would you like to know something about their villa in Madrid, or possibly some of the homes they own in Belgium? What about the Rothschilds would you like to know? Please don't make that face when you think about the women you kissed. You perv. David, even though the Lord. Well, she's not really that important. You know that. I lived in a van down by the river in Venice. That's right. No, I never had anyone expose themselves in front of me. Do tell. Well, I'm so uncomfortable too, I am, Dolly. Just relax. Make yourself comfortable. I'm about ready to leave the show. You watch some movies, enjoy, and come back tomorrow and we'll all talk. It's so nice of all of you to come to our show. Yes. Your favorite group is the Bilderbergs. Yeah, I don't believe in any secret societies. I don't think the Bilderbergs really should be meeting in the United States. It's kind of bizarre because it is a violation of the Logan Act to meet with foreign nations and various representatives here in the United States secretly. I could be a pro-comedian if I was funny, but people don't laugh at me. They laugh with me. They're all laughing at the elitists as they try to poison the earth, thinking that they themselves won't get poisoned as well. That's the only saving grace, really, is they're that stupid that they're going to spray the skies with chemicals, and they're poisoning the food that we're eating, thinking it's not going to affect them. Yeah. Poison was a totally cool band. Yeah, totally. Jerry Lewis, interviewer, even the interviewer admitted was a train wreck. Oh, that's a classic, yeah. The Jerry Lewis interview from hell. I'll be playing that later. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about retiring?
Why?
Was there never a moment?
Why?
He is Jerry. I love Jerry. Jerry and I could hang out. I like this guy a lot. He could be a good friend of Donald Trump's too. Check this guy out. Wait a second. Is that me? Oh my God, that's me 50 years from now. Ah! He does have a similar face, I must say. Why? I want to do a telethon, but I don't want to do a telethon. I don't want to do a telethon. I don't want to do it. Yeah, it's a pretty close match. I like Jerry. Let him talk all he wants. You know, we lost the great Dean Martin. I had a chance to meet his son Ricky. I was on a beautiful boat in the Marina del Rey. One of the I think it was like 86 or so, 80, maybe say 87, and Ricky Martin had this incredible 45-foot yacht, and a friend of mine invited me to the yacht because he knew Ricky Martin. And I know, I'm doing it to piss off Walton. And I was on this boat, and yeah, Ricky had a studio set up in the hull of the boat, in the bow of the boat. He had an actual sound studio, like a $200,000 sound studio in the bow of the boat. It was unbelievable. It's Ricky with an I. Ricky Martin. He does some gigs around the country. I mean, he's done some pretty cool stuff. He does his dad's voice, and he's pretty good. Not that Ricky Martin, this Ricky Martin. Of Dean Martin fame, yeah. So I'm just continuing the name dropping just to mess with people tonight. Hey, how you doing? Let's see what we got here. Here's the Greg Friend Theater in the... Yeah, here he was doing his thing with his dad. Hello.
Had one stolen out of this. One girl, one boy. As did Dad, his motion pictures, his stage, of course, his records. I don't know about you folks, but every Thursday night, NBC was a staple in our household too. Yeah, man. Oh, Lordy. Oh.
Great guy. He didn't have to really work. I mean, it's not like he has to work. He's incredibly rich. I mean, his dad gave him $25 million for a wedding gift. I mean, before he passed away, Dean Martin. He lost his brother, though. You know, his brother crashed in that jet. Okay, let's see what happened here. We got another situation. Russian ambassador killed in Turkey. Security guards at McDonald's. Okay, we're stacking them in there tonight. Volare. Whoa. I know. No, he's a tribute to his dad. He doesn't have... What's wrong with you? Many of you people don't realize that you can actually survive on probably $10,000 a year. I mean, this guy's got millions of dollars. What does he have to work for? Wow. I guess you're addicted to working like slaves, or don't you ever save any money? Okay, so let me get this straight. You work so you can spend more money than you earn, and you're enslaved for the rest of your life. Because they don't want to remember me until I'm famous. When I break into the U.S. media, all these people are going to be calling me up on the phone and say, Dave, remember we met on that boat? And yeah. Yeah, you can't really live off the interest anymore, says their fight. The average person makes 0.003% interest on their money. But you can start enjoying it. Yeah. You know, look at say you're 50 years old. You hope to be 80, maybe, if you're lucky. So you got 30 years. You need at least, I'd say, $40,000 a year to live for 30 years in America. Yeah, that's $1.2 million. Say you toggle back and you don't have a big mortgage. You can get down to maybe $20,000 a year. That's only $600,000 to live the rest of your life. Say you're like me and live on, toothpicks and have toothpick floats for, say you're really, very careful with your money. You could probably live on less than that. It's all about preparing for your future relative to how much you're spending on a daily basis. There is going to be horrible inflation, but when the inflation gets worse, you get creative. When I start seeing prices of meat go up to, $8, $9 a pound in the United States, good meat. You saw how I did it last week on my show. I take basically a piece of basic medium grade beef, round, and I turn it into an amazing meal of fajitas, That was great. I even turned it into a stir fry later that week. But you can marinate meat and get really tender meat, and they say it cuts your cholesterol too. So if you want to check out all my cooking shows to save money on your budget, the truth is, if you start living below your means, you will start to feel more money in your bank account. You'll get ahead. Thank you. You'll get ahead of your debt. It's the debt that's taking you down. And could I have a toothpick float recipe, please? Yes, you get a toothpick what you do is you go to a restaurant and order tap water and have a toothpick in it to season it. Alistair, no one will reminisce about meeting you either. Oh God. The sardines and the fettuccine, when I took the sardine can of oil that was in there, the soybean oil, and I threw that in a hot fry pan with onions, that dinner was incredible. I can't tell you, that was so good. The only thing that beat that was an Alfredo dish my sister made with truffles. Real truffles. The kind that cost $50 a jar. That was amazing stuff. But I cut the budgeting down to, real simple ingredients. There's all kinds of ways of making food really tasty. But remember, salt is the ingredient to a good tasting meal, but it can also be an ingredient to bad health. So, yeah, if everyone sold their stocks and took all the money out of the banks, they'd probably drop the elites in value. One of the things the elites are trying to do is migrate us to a moneyless society. The secret to saving money on food is using a pressure cooker. Obi, good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Pressure cookers cook twice as fast, and you can do an amazing meal in 20, 30 minutes with a pressure cooker. Burger King has 10 chicken nuggets for $1.50. See, you're already saving, and you're still addicted to fast food. That's the kind of person I'm looking for here. I'm going to turn my heat off, save some energy. There we go. Yes. All right. Well, this has been exciting talking to all of you. I think we've come to a kind of a reckoning here. I feel finally at ease with the chat room. It took me 4 hours tonight of nonstop chat. Actually, 5 hours. We started at 5, but 4 hours recorded. So thank you all for coming in. We're going to talk about wasteful spending tomorrow in the budget. We'll talk about the waste they're putting up in the air, the industrial waste they're spraying on us. We'll continue the discussion on chemtrails. And we're going to probably get deeper into the budget itself to find out where we could cut the military budget. It's now over $1 trillion. Trump wants to increase it. It shows you how completely he's gone in terms of having any clarity as to how we need to, realign our thinking here in America. Shrinking our military budget is in line with cutting back our military offenses around the world and focusing more on a defensive posture. So we're going to talk about building more of a defensive national security system. Yeah, thanks for hanging out and talking about the truth. I'm not freaked out, amazingly enough. I've been dealing with a lot of this pressure for some time. We know that there's a pathway to getting a better place. Thank you I'll be broadcasting again and again, Baby Fist. Yeah, I love Twitch. Thanks so much for coming in. Use peanut butter. Hunter cooks with peanut butter. That's an interesting. Well, try to avoid getting unnatural peanut butter because a lot of the peanut butter is mixed with canola oil or rapeseed oil. And that's not exactly good for you. Canola oil is, by and large, genetically modified. So you want to avoid canola oil and corn oil right now, unless it's organic, non-GMO. Finally, it's beginning. A survivor speaks out about Pizzagate. Good. The word is coming out. This whole story is manifesting on the internet. It's morphing into something big. Many thanks to the person who passed this information on. This person experienced ritual abuse or MKL type abuse. Saw trafficking of children in cages myself. I saw murder. I was even given drugs and experienced near drowning. Wow. Holy moly. All right, so we're taking on some tough discussions on a nighttime show. We'll be bringing in MK Ultra stories. That's a serious. I'm going to process this tonight. It's a serious case of abuse, and there's all these references to this abuse. Wow. Okay. They never ever found anything on my hard drive. I've never done anything bad. I'm a good person. And I'm very angry that a lot of you people don't realize how serious it is when children are being molested and beaten up and killed and tortured. 1,000 kids a year in the CPS network alone are abused and then murdered. They lose 1,000 kids to murder and torture in the CPS network. That's why I'm going to phase out the CPS network as we know it. Okay, I'm going to have a parting shot here and give you something to look at before I get to the videos. But there's a lot of bad people out there, and we need to stop these people. And they apparently are protected at the highest level. So I'm risking my life talking about this on a nightly basis. Megyn Kelly literally is defending it like it's no big deal, and she showed a picture of a child abused in front of people. This is so weird. Let me show you this. This was on the Fox network. She's trying to mainstream this abuse and acting like the owner.
Everybody, apathetic CIA troll Dave, snarky acting checking in. Trigger warning, trigger warning. We did want to review the Megyn Kelly versus the Comet Ping Pong Pizza owner guy about the, what is it called again? The Pizza Gate?
Yeah, this is Dave Acton checking in. He'll be he's analyzing this whole thing. I'll play that out of the gate. Let's see if we have this. He puts a picture of his godchild in front of Megyn Kelly, and her face was not in any way blurred out in the picture that was playing on Fox. And he claims it's perfectly okay to tie a little girl, to a desk with masking tape. And he says it's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, this guy's got so many dark secrets that he's not talking about. It's not even funny. And then Megyn Kelly is unbelievably vapid and superficial in not realizing, she must have sold her soul, not realizing this guy is clearly, this is just the tip of the iceberg with this guy. He's up to no good, and we need to look into this guy and investigate him. Now, I'm going to show you something that I picked up in our show. Oh, it's just the performers at this pizza store and all the different pizza stores nearby, like Besta Pizza, Beast Pizza, run by a guy who works at the Department of Justice and Human Trafficking. It seems that the people involved in this type of activity, allegedly, are right there they're the ones that are going to be supposedly patrolling it. They're the ones that are the perps that are involved in it. That's what it seems.
A few weeks ago, and it was attacked.
It's together like a jigsaw.
Okay, so this guy did a complete tour of his restaurant, and he took people around.
The what party room?
Party room.
Kids party room.
Birthday parties. Come on in.
It's a party room. Everything about this place is weird. Let me see, I missed something here. Hang on. I spotted it earlier. Look at this secret bathroom. Look at, you couldn't even tell there's a bathroom here. Look at this.
This is the ping pong room. These are the bathrooms.
Look at that. You wouldn't even know there's a bathroom there. With a little girl's dress-up fantasy room there. No, look at that. Did you see that? Look at this.
These are the bathrooms.
I don't know about you, but exactly why would there be a cage? That's not an animal cage. Why would that be a cage inside of a pizza store? Does anybody know why? Remember they were talking about putting children in cages? Alistair, you're gone too. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that weird? Yeah, why would they have a cage in a pizza store? So these are the kind of things that just don't add up, plus the whole series of pedophilic symbolism that is being used on all these pizza stores in the area, and we have proof that they've been using this pedophilic symbolism. That's what I'm talking about. This ATP Korea fan Zhizheng says it's a sex change for children, Mr. David. I have no investment at all. I'm concerned. I'm just like everyone else wondering what the hell's going on. Well, I mean, seriously, what is a cage doing in a pizza store? I mean, these are simple, basic questions that we should see coming out of the FBI. They should be doing a full-scale investigation of this guy and all of his actions over the past years, not to mention the connections to countless other weird people that he's emailed back and forth. This guy's got a whole series of stuff that came out on WikiLeaks showing weird statements. Like I said earlier, they're referring to pizzas. And in an email from one person to another, they talked about, on Instagram, they were selling 9 pizzas, 4 of which were healthy pizzas. The other 5 were not going to make it. Something to that effect. You heard it. You don't talk about pizzas as if they're not going to make it. I mean, the whole thing is weird beyond belief. So yeah, the whole Pizzagate story will continue ad nauseum until we find some answers. Okay, we got lots of things lined up here. It's almost like unbelievable, mind-blowing, endless reveals. Daily, the beat goes on. It looked like it was ruined too. Like there was a terrible, like the walls were never painted at this place. But that alone won't indict anybody. But
hi, internet friends. Megyn Kelly is
here's
James
Megyn Kelly
at Comet Ping Pong tonight. Over the past year, I've been so disappointed in Megyn Kelly. I feel like
okay, this lady talked about Megyn Kelly and how disappointed she is. I'm going to break off and say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for coming in. It's been wonderful, and I'm glad that you've been able to at least watch the show. If any pizzas go rogue, they store them in a quiet cage. That's pretty funny, but it's sick in a way. They're trying to change the focus from the big issue to the voting fiasco. Also, this guy's powerful. He's able to censor anyone on Twitter talking about this. Yeah, AOSCMP over at Twitch said the same thing. Yeah, exactly. And the Podestas are big media moguls. They can control the message, and they're the ones that promoted this fake news story. Thanks, Fairbyte. We'll say goodnight to all of you, but there's no way this story is going to go away, even if they ban the word Pizzagate. And I'm going to ride it all the way into the 2020 election, because I'm going to make it a central part of my campaign to root out these pedophiles in Washington, D.C. We're taking on all the toughest issues: chemtrails, GMOs in our food, fluoride in our water system, war overseas and the unnecessary need for war by the war machine, and how we're going to stop this. We're doing it all, and we're doing it right in the middle of the political spectrum. So if you want to check out our website, AmericasThirdParty.com, if you go to the old site button, you'll find out all about us and all the ideas we've had for 8 years that Donald Trump stole. And in no way am I going to ID Muslims or deport anybody when I'm a president, except at the border. No internal of deportations whatsoever. We don't want to destabilize the mix of people that are living in America, and we don't want to create a bigger police state. So all these things are the reason why people are flocking to this third party, and understanding that the future of mankind cannot possibly be a totalitarian mix of New World Order control and elitists thinking that they are above the law. What the future beholds for America and the rest of the world is the nation-state model continuing as it has over the thousands of years, and more each nation will become more self-sufficient, regionalization will occur, and the world will evolve without some central authority. That's my prediction, and that's what I hope to make happen as your president. And I hope everyone is watching and telling a friend about America's Third Party. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Here is this interesting lady who's doing a lot of detailed work on Pizzagate on YouTube. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow where Wasteful Wednesday starts, 5 p.m. Take care.